What is up, guys? In today's video, I'm going to be going over my controller settings for Chapter 3. If you guys do not know what settings you want to use or just want to understand more about the settings, I'm going to show my settings and explain why I made the decisions that I did with certain settings, so that even if you don't necessarily like what I like, you can maybe find what suits you best based on my explanation. If you guys do enjoy this video or find it helpful, informative, whatever, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you would like to see more, because I post lots of informative Fortnite content. And if you do have any questions about my settings or why I chose certain things, leave a comment down below. I will do my best to read and reply to all of the relevant comments on this video. Thanks for watching. So getting right into our settings, we're going to start off with graphics settings. Obviously, full screen, I play at 144, and then I play performance mode, not too big of a deal. These settings, I do not use toggle sprint. I use sprint by default. I like sprint by default a lot. I think this is a setting that pretty much everybody is using at this point in Fortnite, but there's just really no reason to walk slowly in this game. If you need to be sneaky, you could just crouch walk. And other than that, you want to be sprinting, especially in build fights. Having to toggle sprint every time, like clicking your left stick in, is not ideal. And you could be using that keybind for something else. So I would definitely recommend using sprint by default. Sprint cancels reloading, I have off. Auto open doors, I have on. This can get you killed sometimes. Some people like this setting and some people don't like this setting. There's kind of two ways to look at it. Some people don't like it because if they accidentally make a door edit in a box fight, they don't want it open, and that somewhat makes sense. Some people want it on because if you accidentally make a door edit when you're trying to like progress through your walls, like tunneling, or just if you mess up an edit when like doing a retake or something, being able to just auto open the door is nice. Personally, I have it on just because like when looting buildings and stuff, I don't feel like opening the door every time, and I just feel like it's a little bit faster to have auto open doors on. Personally, I've never been negatively impacted by it, so I like this setting. Hold to swap pickup. I like the idea of this setting, but it makes just picking up loot in general a little bit laggier, so I don't have this on, but I like the idea of it. Essentially, you hold a button, and then instead of picking up a weapon, you drop your current weapon for that weapon. It would be nice, like, early game if you don't want to fill your inventory with something. Like, let's say you find a white pump, and then later on you find a green pump, and you only have two things in your inventory. Like, you could just hold it and then drop the white pump for the green pump, but overall, I don't think it's worth having this setting on. Toggle targeting, I don't have that on. Mark danger when targeting, I do not have this on personally. Auto pickup weapons, I do not have this on. Preferred item slots, I don't use this setting because I found it to be a little bit fluky when I first started playing the game again, but if you like using this, that's fine for you. I don't know if there's any problems with it personally. I just turned it off immediately when I started playing the game again. Auto sort consumables to the right, I have on. Reset building choice, I have on. You definitely want this on. Disable pre-edits, I have this on. I personally never really used pre-edits, and being able to turn them off is nice because sometimes when you're trying to edit another structure, you might accidentally end up pre-editing when a fight gets kind of chaotic. So I'm really happy that we have the option to disable pre-edits now. Turbo building on, obviously. Confirm edit on release off. I play claw, so I don't need to free up the confirm keybind. If you are struggling with your binds, then confirm edit on release could be good for you. But personally, I just have it off because I have some good keybinds because I play claw, and I just like being able to make an edit and then move my crosshair around, like for good crosshair placement essentially. Like let's say you edit the top row of a wall, you could put your crosshair right on the person and then confirm and shoot and then quickly reset. It just like frees up some time, and it makes your fights a little bit more consistent. So if you have the ability to, I would say turn this off, but it's not the end of the world if you have it on either. It's a fine setting. I don't think any of this matters. Tap to search is good. I think you want that definitely. And yeah, that's it for that setting page. The HUD stuff doesn't matter. I don't play keyboard. So here we got our controller settings. Controller auto run, I have off. Builder Pro build immediately. You definitely want that on. Edit hold time, I have this as low as possible, but I don't think it really matters because I have single button edit, as you'll see here. See, like Y is just edit on its own, so that doesn't matter. But if you have that bind as like edit and something else, you definitely want that to be as low as possible. The slide hold time, this is a nice setting. It can be weird for some people because you want it low enough to where you can easily slide every time you want to, but you don't want it so low that you're accidentally sliding. For me, that's this number right here, but I would play around with it and see what works for you. Like I said, you want it as low as possible so that you can slide easily whenever you want, but you don't want to be accidentally sliding when you have no intention to. I use 2 build, 1.3 edit. I intend to turn my edit sense up over time. I recently started playing the game again about a month and a half ago. I intend to put this up over time, but I've been switching controllers and stuff recently, so yeah. But I intend to keep putting this edit sense up to however high I can get it and still feel comfortable incrementally. Use 43% look, horizontal and vertical. You want these boosts all off. I use 13% ADS speed, and I play linear. Once again, you want all these boosts off. You want look dampening time down all the way. And linear or exponential, it's up to you. I personally play linear, but I think exponential can be good in Chapter 3 because of the current meta that we have. Pumps aren't as good. It's really tracking oriented with like the subs and the MKAR. So I think if you're playing exponential, like that's fine. And then these are my dead zones. Dead zones are going to be very unique to your controller. So don't just copy someone's dead zones. The way I look at dead zones is you want it as low as possible without getting stick drift. If that feels way too fast for you, you can maybe turn it up a little bit, but you don't want like a really high dead zone just because that makes your controller like really unresponsive. Audio doesn't matter. So for keybinds, one of the biggest things that you want is you want as few buttons doing multiple things as possible. So you'll see here when you go to edit, one of the options is switch mode / edit, and that would not be good because then you would have to hold the button to actually start editing, and that little bit of delay is going to cost you, and it is going to allow other players to get the advantage on you. So you want as few buttons doing multiple things as possible. Reload and interact doesn't matter. Crouch and slide doesn't necessarily matter, although you can have times where you slide when you intend to crouch and vice versa, and that's why it's important to get that crouch slide timing setting that we talked about previously down as best as you can. So you want as few buttons doing multiple things as possible, and then you also want to take your thumb off the right analog stick as little as possible. And the reason for this is that if you take your thumb off the right analog stick, you can't be aiming in that time, or you can't be moving your crosshair for like building. So if you have to take your thumb off the analog stick to jump, you can't jump shot as well, and you probably can't do 90s as well because jumping is involved in a lot of 90s and building techniques. So the two ways around that is to play claw or use paddles. If you neither play claw or use paddles, there's probably a set of keybinds out there for you, and I will likely make another video on that in the future. If you guys would like to see that, comment down below. Kind of thought about making a keybinds video for like different types of players. So going over claw keybinds, non-claw, non-paddle keybinds, and then like paddle player keybinds. Personally, I play claw, so these are my keybinds. And one important thing to note is going to be in editing. So if you play claw, your index finger hits the face buttons. So like Y, X, B, and A, and then it also hits RB in my case. So when it came to editing, I wanted reset, edit, and confirm to all be different fingers. That way I could just do it as fluid as possible. If my index finger has to hit both edit and reset, there's going to be a bit of delay there, and it's not going to be as seamless. Ideally, you want all of those actions done by different fingers. So I have Y edit, I have right stick reset, which kind of sometimes I'm not too happy with, but that's how I have to have it. And then I have left trigger confirm. I know some people use RB reset, but for the reason I just talked about, my index finger hits Y and it would also hit RB, so it would just be a little slow there. So the way it is for me now is my left index finger hits confirm, my right index finger hits edit, and my right thumb hits reset. And that works for me, and it makes it very seamless, especially when doing multiple edits. It's hard to do like triple edits or very quick edits and resets if one finger has to do several of those actions at once. So like you could potentially have it to where edit, reset, and confirm were all from the same finger, and I think that would just naturally be much slower than having a different finger do all of those actions. And that's part of having ideal keybinds, in my opinion, is having repetitive actions, like actions you often combo together, like editing, resetting, and confirming. You want those done by different fingers, and you want to take your thumb off the right analog stick as little as possible. So yeah, the reason I just explained all that is if you don't play claw, my keybinds aren't going to be very good for you. But with that information, you can hopefully set up keybinds for yourself, or maybe change some things in your own keybinds to make them a little more ideal. If you have any questions about that, leave a comment down below. And that is actually going to be it for this video. Like I've already said, I am going to do my best to read and reply to as many of the comments on this video as I can, especially if they're like relevant questions. So if you have any, leave them down below. And if you did find this video helpful or informative, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you would like to see more, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.